Okay, so I know this is a loaded question before I ask it, so I don't want you guys to actually answer this question, but there's going to be some follow-up questions that I'll ask you to actually answer. So if I were to ask you guys, like, how you feel about that pre-assessment you just took, on like a scale of 1 to 2, 1 you loved it, 2 you hated it, could you answer that question? Okay, so some of you could, some of you are shaking your head. Oh. How do you feel about those choices I gave you? Do you feel like a 1 or a 2 is enough choices, or do you feel like I should have given you more choices to that question? Like on a scale of 1 to 5 or a scale of 1 to 10? What more? So a bigger scale? Okay. Okay. So yeah, those are the things that we're going to be talking about this unit. And we're talking about like marketing research that companies are going to be doing. And they have to think about questions like that. They have to think if it's a fair question, if they offer enough choices to their focus group. So yeah, that's what I want you guys to start thinking about this unit. So what about Walmart? Like on a scale of 1 to 5, how do you feel about Walmart? Like a 1 being awesome, 5 being you hate it, 3 being a meh. How do you guys feel about that? 2? Got some 3s? Okay. Okay, good. So I think that one was like a little more fair of a question than the first time I asked. Okay. Okay, good. Good. The reason I bring up Walmart, I have a little story about why it's important for them to do research. So when you think of Walmart, what do you guys think of? What do you think about like their prices? Yeah, cheap, low prices, very good. So Walmart, they're trying to change up things. They want to be known for their low prices, but they also want to be known as like an environmentally friendly company. So they're trying to make some changes. So they're investing $500 million in a variety of sustainability projects. And they have some aggressive goals. So the company wants to increase the efficiency of its vehicle fleet by 25% over the next 3 years and double it in 10. They want to eliminate 30% of the energy used in stores and reduce solid waste from their US stores by 25% within 3 years. They're also promoting energy efficient fluorescent light bulbs and pushing their 66,000 suppliers to cut excess packaging. That may not sound like a whole lot, but all those things are going to save Walmart a ton of money. So just by eliminating some of the packaging on their private label toys that they make and sell, they're going to save $2.4 million a year in shipping costs, 3,800 trees, 1 million barrels of oil, and by using the polymer wrapping derived from corn instead of oil, they're going to save as much as 800,000 gallons of gas. So that might please like the environmental groups that were upset with them, but they do still have some challenges. They still have some opportunities and threats that are out there. They still get criticism from like activists about how much their workers get paid, how much their workers get benefits, whether they have like gender discrimination or not. So they still have some people out there that criticize them. To provide insight and inspiration for marketing decisions, Walmart, like other companies, they need comprehensive, up-to-date information and research about macro trends, like changes in the natural environment and the micro effects particular to their business, their retail business. So marketers recognize the importance of continuously monitoring and adapting to the marketing environment, which constantly presents new opportunities and threats. Gathering market information, intelligence, and research is the key force that can affect the company, its markets, and its competitors. So if you guys could follow along in your notebook pages, I'm going to be talking about chapter 28.1 today. So marketing research. Marketing research is the process and methods used to gather information, analyze it, and report those findings related to marketing goods and services. Marketing research is most often used by companies to determine consumers' attitudes and preferences, test product features, determine the market size and growth potential, and learn about like their competitors' products. Also lets them determine what the buying cycles are going to be for those new products and understand how the company is perceived by the public. So why is marketing research so important? So this research helps businesses increase their sales, and it answers questions about what products they should produce, what price they should sell those products, who's going to buy those products, and how are those products going to be promoted or advertised. So it also helps them solve the marketing problems and gauge the potential for new ideas, new products, new companies. So who uses marketing research? Pretty much any company can benefit from it. So small companies benefit from it, large companies benefit from it. Small businesses usually have to rely on their employees to do research for them. Sometimes a small business owner might ask their friends to come into their business and rate them and give them feedback on things that they should add or change. Larger companies have like their own in-house department. So like they pay their own people that work for their company to plan research, write questionnaires, write surveys for their products and services, and then actually go out and conduct that research. There's also trade associations that conduct and use research. They're like companies, and that's what they do. They get this information, they research this information, and then they sell it for a fee to either small businesses or larger companies. And then there's also nonprofit agencies that also do this. So database marketing is one way to collect information, and it's the process of designing and creating and managing customer lists like on a computer. Once the list is developed, it can be used for targeting customers with special programs and services. But what is a database? A database is like a computer program that stores this information in a computer. It collects it, and they can analyze it, do research on it. Does anybody have one of these Kroger Plus cards from Kroger on their keys or in their wallet? Or your parents might have a Kroger Plus card that you've seen use. Sarah has, Victor has. Okay. So these Kroger Plus cards, whenever I use it to purchase goods at Kroger, my information goes in their database. So my name and address is hooked up to my little barcode on my Kroger Plus card, and they're tracking all the purchases I make. So what they're doing is they're analyzing what I buy every week, like if it's something I only need to buy once a month or once a year, they're tracking those things. They're analyzing it, figuring out if they can market to me. A lot of times I'll get coupons in the mail from Kroger with discounts for stuff that I frequently purchase. They'll send me discounts on stuff they think I might want to buy in the future based on my past buying habits. But yeah, they're storing my information, they're analyzing it, they're using it to market to me, and then they're also distributing my information or selling my information to other companies who want to market to me. And then they'll use that to make marketing decisions and other business decisions, whether they want to discontinue carrying a product or buy more of that product or other stuff from that particular company, and make business decisions based on their customers' buying habits. So what data should be included in those? The customer profile data, like all the stuff I was just talking about, and they're compiling all that stuff, keeping track of what I'm buying. They want to keep company records from their competitors, government data, and marketing research done by those other research firms. Okay, so that is 28.1 in a nutshell. You guys have any questions or comments on chapter 28.1? No? Okay. So we're going to take a little break and do a survey. So hopefully this is a fun little survey for you guys. The funsurveys.com and the Quizzopolis, I believe, are restricted, but the alltest.com, that one works. So go to allthetest.com and pick one of the surveys. Make sure you note the name, the format of the questions, whether they're multiple choice, or how satisfied are you on a scale of 1 to 5, and how many questions they ask, and then the results of your survey, and whether they were valid and true to you or not. So go ahead and take 5 minutes and do a survey, and then we'll talk about some of them as a class. So would anybody like to share the name and the results of the survey that they did? Yeah, Sophia?
So my survey was called How Well Do You Know Teen Celebrities?
Okay.
There was 10 questions. I got 9 out of 10 correct.
Good job.
And the format of the questions were like fill in the blank.
Okay. So did they give you multiple choices, or did you just have to know it?
It was like multiple choice answers and like a blank in between the like sections that you did.
Okay. So what kind of result did they give you? Did they say you're like a pop culture expert?
Congrats, you know your celebrities very well. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Okay.
And then it like gave us statistics. It said on average, 9,000 of the users who took the quiz gave 7.37 of the right answers. So like I was above average.
Above average? Awesome. So do you agree with those results? Do you feel like that represents you, or do you feel?
Mostly because they were from like TV shows that I watched when I was younger, so I was familiar with the questions.
Okay. Very cool. So how many questions did you say there were? 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like if they had asked you more questions, it would have been more representative of your pop culture knowledge?
I think so.
Think so? Okay.
I feel like the questions that they gave were more like all in the same category. So they've given other questions not only about like a certain TV show, but other things that widen the answers.
Okay, good job, Sophia. Did anybody else want to share their survey results? No? Okay, I'll show you mine here real quick if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. So I did, what career should you do? And I got 40%, you should be a teacher. You are smart, they're great with kids. 30%, I should be a celebrity, an actor or a singer. 20%, I should work with animals. You love them so much. So yeah, I do love teaching. So I feel like that one represented me well. And only has 10 questions. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty good result for who I am. Okay. So 28.2, you guys might recognize one of these, quantitative. So quantitative, picture like quantity, how much, we're talking about numbers here. So quantitative research answers questions about how many or how much. It gathers information from large numbers of people, often using surveys and questionnaires. There's qualitative research is the other one, and it focuses on a smaller number of people and answers questions like why and how. And this type of research relies heavily on in-depth interviews So they're usually like one-on-one interviews, and they're asking a lot of questions. So we are going to have an assignment on this here in a little bit. So make sure you guys get this one jotted down in your notes for that assignment. It's important to know the difference. Okay. So there's 4 types of marketing research. First one we're going to talk about is attitude research, also known as opinion research. But it's designed to obtain information about how people feel about products and services, companies, or ideas. Customers are usually asked to rate how satisfied they are, like on a scale of 1 to 5. How satisfied are you with Walmart or this product sold at Walmart? And then they also use consumer panels, also called focus groups, which are groups of people who are questioned to provide information. So, like those questions that I asked you guys at the beginning of class, you guys were my focus group for those questions. Types of marketing research. There's also market intelligence, also called market research. And this one is concerned with the size and location of the market. That market's competition, the segmentation within the market for a particular product or service, sales forecasting, economic forecasting, and this market research helps define potential target markets. So what would be the target market for like Ulta makeup? Ulta makeup, who would be the target market for Ulta's makeup? Anybody? Yeah, Kylie?
Girls.
Yeah, girls, women, possibly guys who work in the makeup industry. Yeah, very good. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a target market. Market intelligence, the information relevant to a company's markets gathered and analyzed specifically for the purpose of accurate and confident decision making and determining the strategy in areas such as market opportunity and market development. So the goal of market share and segmentation studies is to investigate the potential markets for new products and define characteristics of the target market. So they're trying to determine if the market should be segmented, like if they should sell their product globally to every single segment of the globe, or if they should segment it and not sell to certain segments. So like if George invented a new toothpaste and his toothpaste whitened teeth better than all the teeth whitening charcoal toothpastes that are out there, if he were to do some marketing research, he might find out that it's important to segment for that sector. Just because there's certain parts of the world that just, they don't care about having white teeth. So that's what they're talking about when they're talking about the market share and segmentation. There's also media research. Media research is also called advertising research. Do you guys remember the different types of media when we were talking about advertising in chapter 19? Yeah. Elliot, what's an example of one of the different media that we talked about? Yeah, broadcast, internet, print media. Yeah, very good, Elliot. And so that's what we're talking about for this one. They're trying to evaluate which one of those advertising mediums they should use. So it focuses on the issues of the effectiveness of those different kinds of advertising, the selection, frequency, and ratings. So it's a measurement of what people watch, listen to. In this kind of research, what they're studying is brand awareness, advertising recall, brand image, the effectiveness of the advertising copy on a print ad, or the audience for a particular type of advertising. Have any of you guys ever participated in a focus group other than the the one that we did at the beginning of class? Never have? Okay. I did one, but it was a long time ago. It was like probably close to 20 years ago. But basically, it was like a big room with a bunch of chairs, and then they had a screen like this one, and they were showing us a couple different episodes of these sitcoms. They weren't sitcoms that were like currently on the air playing on TV. They were like sitcoms that were pilots and that they could be picked up later on. Um, but they showed us these sitcom episodes, and then there were some commercials, just like you would see commercials during regular television. And then they asked the focus group all kinds of questions about the different products that were featured on the show, the commercials that we saw, and they wanted to know if we were aware of the brands. They wanted to know, like, hey, did you notice this product placement? So what kind of soda were the characters drinking in this episode? They wanted to know if we could recall the advertisements. Hey, what kind of dishwashing detergent was featured in those commercials? So they wanted to know if they had like a strong brand awareness. Have you guys ever heard of the Nielsen company, the Nielsen ratings? Never have? Okay. So a long time ago, it used to be like if your last name was Nielsen, they would track your television viewing habits, what shows you watch, which advertisements are on those shows, and based on those Nielsen ratings, they would cancel shows or renew shows for the next season, stuff like that. So Nielsen, what they do is they gather consumer information and then they sell it for a fee to these advertisers and let them know what their market share, what the return on their investment of their advertising is going to be. So it's kind of nice for smaller companies because it gives them like a company that can do that research for them, and then they can buy that information for a fee. So media research, it's important statistics for media measurement. Do you guys remember audience and frequency from last chapter? Kind of? Okay. So the audience is the same definition from last chapter, chapter 19. The audience is the number of homes or people exposed to an advertising medium. Frequency, the number of times that audience sees or hears an ad. And then the reach is the percentage of the target audience that will see or hear an ad at least once. And then the ratings, the total number of audience impressions delivered over a set period of time. Are you guys able to distinguish the difference between audience and reach based on those definitions? Victor says yes. What's the difference, Victor? Yeah, so I like that word specifically. So the word specifically would have to do with the reach. So they're specifically talking about the target audience. So like Kylie mentioned, the target audience for the makeup was girls, women, stuff like that. So that would be the target audience for that Ulta makeup example. The audience would be like everybody. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's the difference between audience and reach there. Yeah, great job, Victor. All right. So to obtain these measures, businesses request information from the media that's they're interested in. So in most cases, they get like a rate card, and it tells them how much the advertisement would cost, what their circulation is, what their audience is, the deadline dates for when those advertisements would become due in order to get those on the air or in a magazine or newspaper, and other requirements for the submission of an advertisement. So media research, in order to determine the effectiveness, readers are asked about the extent that they noticed the ad in the newspaper or magazine, whether they remember the print ad in that newspaper or magazine, and that if they actually associated it with a specific advertised brand. And then the readership in print media is measured by surveys or estimated by the circulation. Broadcast media, the research is done through personal interviews, theater tests, in-home testing, and focus groups. The internet media, there's two different ways they do that. They do web-centric trackers, where they're tracking the total number of people that go to a specific website. And then there's user-centric trackers that track a specific user. So, do you guys know what cookies are? Would you accept cookies on a website? I'm getting blank stares. I guess they aren't too sure about those cookies you're accepting. Okay. So basically, cookies are like tiny little software, bits of software that go on your computer. And what they're doing is they're tracking your user-centric data. They're tracking what websites you click on. They're tracking which articles you're interested in. They're tracking which advertisements you click on. And what they're doing is they're trying to get more targeted ads that are specific to your interests in the future. So in the future, when you go to a website, you're going to see an advertisement that's specific to you. If you guys want to accept all the cookies now? No comment? All right, so the fourth one is product research. Product research has to do with like the product itself, whether it's a cool design, if the packaging it comes in is a cool package, the product usage, if it does what it says it does, and then consumer acceptance, if it's going to be a product that succeeds in the market or a product that fails in the market. So the reason they do this, only 1 in 10 products actually succeeds. So 9 out of 10 products fail. So product research is also conducted to collect information about competitive products. They want to know if the competitors are, if they do have a competitor, if the competitor is a higher end product. So they do that by concept testing, product positioning, and pricing studies. And these are frequently done with focus groups to get initial consumer reactions to a product, service, or idea. The product positioning, that would be like where it's positioned on the shelves, like if it's a bottom shelf item, middle shelf, top shelf, where in the store it should be located. And then pricing studies determine like what price the product should be sold at. Would people buy it at $10 or would they buy it at $20? That's what they're talking about in those types of focus groups. So trends, right now everything's trending toward a global market. So the research that measures a product's quality and customer satisfaction has become the fastest growing form of marketing research. So the reason global marketing is trending is because, like that toothpaste example. So George invents this new whitening toothpaste. It whitens your teeth better than anything. But if he did some global research, he would find that there's a few places that he shouldn't sell that whitening toothpaste because they just don't care about having white teeth. Like there's places in the Middle East and they chew on this plant and it turns their teeth green. So they don't really care if they have white teeth there. There's places in Southeast Asia and they chew these, I think they call them betel beans, and it turns their teeth black. They probably wouldn't make any money selling your whitening toothpaste there, George. So that's why they do marketing research. Another trend is to use those SWOT analyses. Do you guys remember doing those SWOT analysis exercises at the beginning of the semester? Where you had to determine the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You guys remember those? SWOT? Kinda? Okay. So I also kind of talked about these in that story I told you about Walmart earlier. So Walmart, they were able to know their strengths and their weaknesses internally. They knew that they had good prices. They knew that there were people out there who are angry about how they treat their workers. But then there were also the external opportunities and threats. They knew that they could become known as an eco-friendly company by the opportunity that was out there. They knew that they could reduce costs and leave a better footprint, like a what's it called, carbon footprint on the earth. And they did research, analyzed those with the SWOT analysis. There's total quality management programs, which place a premium on gathering and using database research and improving business operations. And then there's also limitations of marketing research. Limitations are money, like can a company afford to do this kind of research? Time, is there enough time to do some research before they bring their product to market? And then accuracy, are the people they're researching accurate? Are they giving accurate feedback, or were they upset about something that messed up the results of the research? On your notes, there's a fourth one. The fourth one on your notes is going to be changing markets. So changing markets would be the third limitation. So like if the market changes from the time you do your research to the time your product is ready to be sold in stores, that could be a limitation of your research. Okay. So why is research important? Why is marketing research important? Anybody? Leif, any ideas? To be successful in marketing? Okay, good, good. So to have like a successful product and market that product to be successful? Okay, yeah, good answer. Anybody thinking something else? Evelyn, what do you think? You think that was a good answer, or were you thinking along another line?
I think also gain some information about consumers.
Yeah, good. You want to know if your product's going to be successful to certain consumers? Yeah, very good. All right. So if you guys owned your own company, if you owned a small business, what kind of research would you guys do? You do surveys? Okay. Yeah, good. Would anybody do something different? Maybe have like a secret shopper go in and secretly shop your store? Yeah. Okay. What about you, Victor? What would you do? Surveys, questionnaires? Okay, good. All right. Did you guys have any questions for me about chapter 28, 28.1, 28.2? No? Okay. Well, we're going to do an in-class exercise that hopefully ties all this together. So if you guys could go to today's module, day 23 in Canvas. And we're going to do this marketing research one in class today. So click on that marketing research one, and you'll see a bunch of definitions, a bunch of words regarding those 4 different types of marketing research we just talked about. So I want you guys to skip all past that, and you're going to be filling out these 4 boxes. So these 4 boxes, I want you to read those definitions and in your own words, redefine them in these boxes. Put your own definition in your own words in these boxes. Then I want you to tell me whether it's quantitative or qualitative, or maybe if you think it's both, qualitative and quantitative. And then identify some of the key terms or key elements that go into that type of research. Do you guys have any questions on this assignment? No? So you guys are welcome to work together on this. So if you want to like turn and talk to a neighbor, you are welcome to do that to get this done. It does need to be turned into Canvas. but we are going to go over it as a class. So if you want to turn it into Canvas before we go over it as a class, you can, or if you want to wait and do it after we go over it, that is cool too. But the reason we're doing this is because I created a new type of assignment. I did this through Google Classroom, and so it's a little bit different than the other assignments that we've been doing all semester. So please be aware of that. You shouldn't have to like copy and paste it into another document. You should just be able to do it right inside Canvas and submit it. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, take 5-6 minutes, get that done, and then we'll come back together and talk about it. So who would like to share their definition of market intelligence, of market research? Anybody like to share the definition they came up with on that one? Colin? I haven't heard from you today. How you doing? No, it's not. It's Connor. I'm sorry, I called you Colin. Connor. Yeah, what's your definition for market intelligence?
I said investigating the potential markets for new products and the kind of research for the market.
Investigate new products. Very good. Did anybody else have something different on that one? No? Okay. And Connor, were you able to figure out if that one was quantitative or qualitative?
I said quantitative.
Good. Yeah, very good. So why did you say quantitative?
Because basically conducting research over like the different markets and the competitors and stuff. So you get something like the statistical data for that.
Yeah, you need the statistics, you need data, you need the numbers. Very good. And did you have any examples of the elements that they researched?
I think it's like analyzing market trends, analyzing competitors, and monitoring customers.
Okay, good. Good. All right. What about attitude research? Who wants to take a shot at attitude research? No volunteers? Kylie, I haven't heard from you too much today. How do you feel about your definition on attitude or opinion research? Yeah, how people feel about companies, ideas, products. Yeah, very good. And did you determine if that one was qualitative or quantitative? Qualitative? Okay, good, good. So why would you say that one's qualitative? Yeah, measures how they feel, what their opinions are. Very good. Did you have any examples of how they gather that research? Very good. All right. What about media research? Sarah, can you take the definition on media research? Okay, very good. And did you make a determination on that one if it was quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative? Okay, good. So did anybody have anything different on that one? Anybody have qualitative on that one? Evelyn, you did? Okay. So why did you say that's qualitative also? Yeah. Good. Yeah, I agree with both you guys. I'd say it's both. It's quantitative because they're looking at the numbers. Like if you think of internet ads, they're looking at how many clicks that internet ad gets. So it totally deals with numbers. So it's totally quantitative. And then they also do like brand awareness and how people feel about the brands and products. And yeah, they do like focus research. So, yeah, very good, Sarah and Evelyn. So, did either one of you guys have any examples of how they get those? How they do the research? Good. Yeah, so they're looking at the data, the numbers, and they're looking at attitudes, how people feel about them. Very good. All right, who wants to take product research? Anybody? Anybody wants to volunteer for that one, or should I call on someone? Elliot, can you help us out with the definition? And then Leif, maybe you can tell us whether it's qualitative or quantitative?
Or,
Product research, the definition.
It's kind of like the design of the product from a customer perspective, like the packaging. Some examples are like pricing study, product positioning, and concept testing.
Very good. Well, Leif, did you say if that one was quantitative or qualitative?
I feel like that's more qualitative.
Yeah, I agree with you. So why do you feel like it's qualitative?
Because it's really focusing on the value of the product.
Yeah, like how they feel about the product, right? Yeah, very good. Okay, guys, so make sure that one gets uploaded to Canvas. I'll get you some points for it. I also wanted to go over your formative assessment with you. So this is just letting me know how you feel about Chapter 28 as a whole. So if you guys could take a moment, circle one of the faces, let me know if you're feeling pretty good about the information that we discussed today, or if you are less than excited about it. And then I wanted to let you know what your homework is for tonight. So your homework is also in that same module, the Day 23 module down at the bottom. You're going to be analyzing a questionnaire. So that questionnaire has already been filled out for you. So it was a 2-question questionnaire, and there were 15 people that took that questionnaire, and it has their responses in these 2 columns. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste that grid into an Excel spreadsheet. And that Excel spreadsheet will look something like this once you get it copied in. So you've got the 15 people and the answers to those 2 questions, and you're going to want to sort it by this 3rd column. You're going to highlight that 3rd column and go up here to the top right where it says sort and filter. Click on that, and then you're going to want to sort it from A to Z. So click on that button, sort from A to Z, and it's going to ask you a question, and you're just going to say yes, you want to sort it. And then it sorts it. It takes those 15 people and scrambles them all up, so you've got everything sorted alphabetically by their responses to question number 1. So you'll copy and paste that sorting into your Google Classroom assignment, either above or below these 4 questions that I'm asking you. And then you'll use that to answer these questions and analyze that data from that questionnaire. Does that assignment make sense? Are there any questions on that assignment? No? Okay. And I also wanted to go over your virtual assignment for tomorrow. So tomorrow, day 24, is your virtual assignment. Chapter 28, study skills. Basically, this one is an assignment on the vocabulary that we learned today. So we've got the vocabulary terms up there, and then you will plug those into these 7 sentences. Does your virtual day assignment make sense? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, make sure all 3 of those assignments, the one we did in class, your homework for, oh, Evelyn, yes.
Do you know how to sort on
Google
Google Sheets?
Sheets, I am less than great at Google Sheets, but we'll figure it out together here in just a minute, okay? So yeah, on Excel, I'm much better at Excel than Google, but we'll figure it out. Were there any other questions? No? Okay, so make sure I get those formative assessments. If you guys could take a minute and put those like over here by Kylie in front of Leif, I would appreciate it. And then Evelyn, I'm going to help you figure out Google Sheets. But thank you guys for a great class today.